So welcome everybody back here at Veil of Sound. And today I have the pleasure of talking to somebody that might be one of the few times that everybody here at Veil of Sound was really, really excited about getting this interview. I'm very happy to speak with Caspar Brötzmann, whom some of you, or best of all of you should know. Caspar, thanks for joining the show.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Caspar, the first thing that we always ask around here, is there any kind of band or any kind of project, maybe not your own, but of a friend, that you would like to drop here to give them some credits? I will also do that, and I'll give you a moment to think about it.
No, it's completely easy. It's Muamasa and Shumek.
Ah, yeah.
That's no problem. Stephen O'Malley and KJ Heino. So it's easy.
Yeah. For everybody who hasn't
Nick
heard...
Cave.
Yeah, okay. That is one of those artists.
But I have tons.
You have tons? Yeah, I can tons. Imagine. But everybody has tons, right?
We could talk about these years.
Yeah, probably. Okay. You also did music with Sumac, didn't you? Back in a few years ago.
Not with Sumac, but with KJ and Steven.
Yeah.
Last time in Warsaw, but Aaron and me, we are working on it.
Oh, that is good to hear.
I'm pretty sure that we make it happen someday.
Someday.
You know, he's a friend, and we had a few phone calls, and it's going closer and closer in the last time, and Aaron and me are kind of friends.
Yeah, that would be a dream come true for a lot of guitar-oriented guys with an open ear. Caspar, your new record, It's a Love Song, is maybe the most political one you've made. And before we start talking in depth about the record, I would like to give you a quote by the German artist Max Liebermann. And I would like to hear if you would subscribe to that at the moment, yes or no. Liebermann, back in 1933, said, "Ich kann ja nicht so viel fressen, wie ich kotzen möchte." Translated, I can't eat as much as I want to throw up. Would you subscribe to that for the moment, too?
It's more easy on my side. It's just a human background, and it's completely easy that I'm afraid that we slip into the Third World War.
Yeah.
It's easy, and it's the whole thing. And I'm talking about the planet and not about politics. And I'm talking about to watch and see every day what's going on. So that's, a few years ago I had other interviews, and I said in the interviews, I have the feeling that we are in danger. So, and that's the background. That it's nothing to do with countries or whatever. It means our planet and how we live on that planet, and maybe in future. So, and have some worries.
Correctly so.
So that's a human background of the whole thing.
Would you say that the new record is your state of the world address, where you try to clarify that we are going?
No, it's a warning. It's a kind of warning. It's a kind of feeling. It was a kind of urgent. It was something like important to not go blind, I do not know how to say that, because it's in the end the feeling that we are in danger, and we want to give a sign with that, with the song, and we want to say hello to the planet. It's a love song. That's why the title is It's a Love Song, because in the end we love the peaceful people. It's really easy and to understand. It's not complicated, and we have enough from all this violence. It's simply the words I'm singing, and the feeling of the band, the feeling of my friends, And I'm pretty sure the feeling of many, many other people.
That's true. That's true.
And it's terrible to watch what you can see every day.
Yeah.
It's really terrible.
And the problem is that every day you wake up and you think like, okay, it cannot be worse than yesterday. And all of a sudden something comes and it's like, okay, we have
I don't know
close to nuclear war.
Yeah, I don't know why they're going so wide, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it could be normal that you walk in the park in Berlin and then you see maybe a kind of smoking pills from a bomb.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is that, of course, you living in Berlin, in the center of attention in Germany, of course, that makes it even more.
The target.
yeah, exactly. So you are now releasing this as a warning, but of course, it's also some kind of protest.
No, it was my emotions.
Yeah.
I take that back with the word warning. It's also the wrong word for that, but doesn't matter. The people know how I understand it. It's an inside feeling.
Yeah. But would you agree that it's also some kind of protest?
The outside world is one thing and connected with whatever, but my inside world is, I have some worries.
Mm-hmm. But would you agree that it's also some kind of protest?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and
that's
and then exactly. But is it the way that, I mean, like, of course, you are very clearly saying what you are thinking and what you are protesting against. But isn't also you go on? So?
I do not understand. It's not clear.
No, it is very, very clear. It is very clear.
We have enough from all this violence. You know, there's a film from Nick Cave a few years ago, I guess, where he is making these little sculptures. Mm-hmm. And in this film, I switched in that film movie on the television from channel to channel, but there was another moment where Nick was saying in the interview, we have enough. Mm-hmm. Years ago, and it was a really big inspiring to think about. It was an inspiring moment for me to make my own song a few years later.
Would you put your protest song more into the realm of Jimi Hendrix or CCR's Fortunate Son?
Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah, the Star Spangled Banner. When he deconstructed the national anthem.
This is more doing the. You can find this maybe much more in. It's in the end always the same because it's the anger, and it's the sadness about the whole thing because it makes sometimes sad, and you need something to do something against all this and make your emotions free. So it's of course a part of it. And also what I did with the Massaker in the song Massaker, you know?
Yeah.
I play that all the time and it's all the time brand new.
Because real repetition is basically impossible, right? Musically.
Repetition? I do not know. What is it?
Do you mean like repeating yourself is basically impossible musically? Because every time it's different. It's a different venue. It's a different moment. It's a different, maybe also constellation. So you cannot reproduce a song one to one.
Yeah, it's anyway not my plan.
Yeah, that's what.
But you know, how to answer this? If I would play. Let's say that more easy. I'm not a musician who would love to go on stage every night and play exactly the same song. Mm-hmm. It's not a sense for myself to making music. It's good to have the idea of what you want to do in the night or what your audience maybe expected, but it's good to be in a kind of way free of all that and enjoy that, you know? How should that, it would make me unhappy if I would have to play every night exact the same riffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah.
Is that also a reason why you have the same track twice on the new record in two different live versions? To show how different it can be?
There was also no plan, and but these both recordings were very good.
Yes, they are. Yes,
and,
they are.
They are different and they have a different power, and this was all what we had.
That
So
also
this is completely authentic, and there's we worked for the B side on the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I had another studio session because the vocals something was wrong with the vocals, and we did the new recording for it. But it's in the way like two different atmospheres and two different paintings, maybe of the same topic.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that you use the word painting.
I'm a painter, anyway.
Yes, like your father.
Do not compare that. What I do is, and this is my feeling, and it is from the beginning, is that I paint with my music.
That's what I wanted to hint at. Is that
this is not you? You know, this is an old. I was in Vienna saying that all the time, and this is maybe, but it's interesting to talk about it. To talk about it in a kind of way new about the new record is that you can't. It's interesting because. It's good to have two different pictures from the same topic. It's from the same story and the emotions and the atmosphere, and because sometimes, or the most of the time, I think that to have I don't like that so much to have only one song. You know, a song you can arrange it in two different ways, or 10 or 100 different ways, and if you feel one day in the focus. Good. This day is maybe this day. The next day, I would love to play the song in another way.
Yeah.
So this is a good aspect of our times we live in, because it's much more easy to do that. You can go feel free and say, I can maybe 100 versions of one song.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good thing for a musician, maybe if that would be necessary. It can be different from musician to musician. It's easy.
So then when we see a Caspar Brötzmann show, if we have the opportunity to do so, yes, I hope so too. Then we basically see you paint a picture that is also very often open to our interpretation, right?
The painting situation is more if you create a song.
Mm-hmm.
And if I play all these violins, for example, there's more freedom. Mm-hmm. So this can really different from day to day. Mm-hmm. This is the old songs, Massaker, are in a kind of way all the same, but I can play my solos, This is also the plan of the band. But you are right. If we have to separate this a little bit. But if I play songs like All This Violence with a kind of character and arrangement of the music like this, then you are very close to the painting every night. But if you be on live on stage, not in a rehearsal room, not in the studio, you play with the venue and the people there. You play with the lights, you play with how was the day, how was the sound check, how was the travel, how was the hotel, how is the mood of the band. How you're going the first step on stage, you see the people, and then you go, you have your audience, and then it starts maybe like this or maybe like this. I like the freedom of that.
Yes.
Because it's good, because if you not working I'm not working in a factory. So I go there and be sensitive to all that was going around me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can react to the moment, right?
Yes, and I can be there for the people.
It's also very interesting to have those two versions of all this violence on the record. So if I understood you correctly, those are the only two recordings of the song. There is no third or fourth or fifth one that you have put up.
No, Torben, our sound manager, he did 8. I guess we have 7 or 8 versions of it. And Vienna and Dresden were the best one.
Can you point out why those two were the best ones? Did they just feel the best, or is there something about the others where you select?
It was that's it's also easy to say. It was the best version in the whole intensity and music-wise. We played that 2 versions really good.
Yes, you do. That is true. You definitely play those tracks really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I really thank you. I like that if people are saying wow, they like that. So it's good for me because I know that is difficult music, So I'm happy about every person who's saying thank you for the music.
I can understand.
I'm really surprised. I'm surprised that I thought in the studio, oh wow, if you release a record like this, Caspar, maybe you shot the people. But I didn't. So that's really nice. I'm surprised about the feedback of the record.
So, but you are positive
also from the audience.
Okay.
I'm just back from tour, and we never had a situation in 30 years Massaker that, normally a third of the audience left the room because we were too loud, and I don't know why. But this time we play not that loud. We're much more sensitive with the same music. We play it in a much better way, and we bring the people to dance. They stay. All concerts, the first tour, the second tour, they love the music. The feedbacks from the audience at this time, 2025, makes us really happy. The crew, the band, we had so nice emotions and a good atmosphere. We never had that before. Sometimes we played in front of 10 people, sometimes for 400 or 500. But it was one of the best atmosphere between audience and band, and from the time event we now have, I'm still have really good emotions about this.
Does that also show you that your band, your music is still important after such a long time?
My own feeling for the whole thing and the story of Massaker, it's just Massaker is only a part of me. I do other things too, but I all the time feel this timeless. From the beginning, in a rehearsal room, from the beginning, 86 until today, it's in a kind of, for me, I can just talk for me, it's kind of out of time. And there's something else. If you go older, you have more experience and get more the feeling how you can play it better. This is a good thing to watch, how you learn from yourself.
You also mean how to write and perform? Something like really skilled?
Yes.
So are there now tracks from the earlier period of the Massaker where you would say, like, if I could, I would redo it and do it differently? I mean, like, not on stage, but on record, you mean?
Yeah, not anymore. We did it one time with the record Home, but now it's not necessary. Maybe for the film clip or whatever. But to make another recording of the old songs, it's not necessary anymore. No. We go, this is all this violence on It's a Love Song album record is just a start. I survived alcohol. I'm back I had a few bad years behind me, and now I'm there and go without this all. And I've played a lot. I have 30 songs at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the financial side. We are completely broke. So I do not know what we do in future. Mm-hmm. We did a tour. Right now I had to pay the record company, and for me there's no money. Mm. So it's the pockets. It's not only empty. We have a little financial catastrophe.
Okay. So
that makes the planning how to create the music really difficult. Mm. But it's new, and the situation how I need a little time. I need maybe a month or like this, and I have to talk to my friends what we can do. Mm. I make minus on the tour,
Okay, so you go into depth. Okay.
Yes, I have to pay. I have to pay for that I play.
Which is a strange thing nowadays, right? But anyway,
it's maybe you're not the only one.
Yeah,
bands have the same problem, and I don't know in the moment what to do. Mm-hmm. But doesn't matter. My mood is okay.
That is the most important thing.
I think so too. And also, I'm a musician. And my music and my notes are not connected with any dollar or money. This is not the thing. That's something else from the outside. But I play anyway every day. Mm-hmm. So I'm out of that. But I have to take care about how to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
of course. This is not easy.
Yeah. It unfortunately is not.
I have also worries that it's maybe, sometimes you have the feeling for the future. And now how to survive with your own music in the future, in the moment. I'm kind of a little speechless. Because it's so full, and you think, what should I do?
Would you then say that your music also, in a way, gets you through, keeps you positive?
My music? Sure, they give me power back. Immediately. If I play my music, so then it makes me happy.
You have already mentioned that.
Maybe important what I tried. It's maybe you should know that whatever is, and if I would have a job, maybe I need a job in the future, but I'm a musician. And it's maybe important to understand, if you want to understand me, it's maybe would be good to know that the music is the music, the money is the money, whatever. But the love and the passion to play and touch my instrument, to listen to the sound, to create a sound, to work on a sound, to work with your people, with your friends, to work on a good idea. That's the way I really, really love to do.
You have mentioned that you've gone through some personal problems and that you also do a lot of other stuff. However, this is the third Massaker record in several decades. Is there, or can you quickly explain the reason for this huge gap?
I was burned out, I guess, 2000, because you never made money with Massaker. And it was pretty intense music, and
still is.
Yeah, in another way, because I'm older and now I know how to handle this. I'm not on alcohol anymore, and it's much better to live that world. And
did time just fly by?
also there was another problem 2000 that I had a really good relationship with Rough Trade. And at this time the handys came, the computers, at this time I stopped playing with Massaker because also Eduardo and Danny they also need a break from myself and also from the music, and it was pretty exhausting to play that music without coming home. We never made $1 in America. 5 years, every year we were on tour and coming back home with nothing. And this is maybe one of the reasons there was not a financial success to say, wow, it's good what we do. We all had working in jobs. And yeah.
So you first had to make money before you could do another Massaker record. That's clear.
No, that's a good, excuse me.
You're welcome.
This is a good point on the modern times we live now, because to make good recordings is much more easy.
Yeah.
And this is a good thing. We had, for example, we had in the beginning, a few months ago, working on tour. I had a session with Beat Halberschmidt and Katharina Ernst and Marcos Feminella, for example, and he just brought a few mics, a little recording machine, and I was listening to the recordings in the rehearsal room. I was saying, wow, what a whoops. This was really good.
That's the good side of modern technology, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question that I was always wondering about. Where do you see the difference between the Massaker tracks and what you did in the same group with Bass Totem? Where is the difference for you in those two projects?
The instrument.
Only the instrument? There's nothing?
If you play a bass totem, is the bass guitar.
Yeah. It's the most important one, that's clear.
No, yeah, for years, but now it's half and half. I love them both, but my Fender Stratocaster and the different, to call it bass totem was a kind of period in my life to was like developing something new in music on the bass guitar. And now I play both. I play with 6-string and 4-string guitar. So both is good.
Yeah, and for all us out there, it's also good that you are so good at both of them.
I try it. I'm still on it, work on it, and I'm not still there where I want to go. But it's really good, necessary adventure for me to find something new for myself. And the bass guitar, especially the Sundberg bass guitar, is a fantastic instrument for myself. And I learn every day on it, and I play every day, mostly. It makes it real fun.
It's very, very nice to hear you talk about that, because you've just said, you said about yourself, I'm a musician. And when you talk about those instruments, it really becomes clear how much you love music and playing. That's very, very nice to hear. Because it shows that, how should I say, whatever you release, it's you, and it's not fake, and it's very honest. Is that important for you, to be honest with yourself and your music?
Yes, and to my friends. It's very important. The word honestly is sometimes difficult, because sometimes you don't know.
Yeah.
But there's something else I need for my own life and to my people and I love to look in the eyes. or in my own mirror. And if I can't do that, I'm unhappy. So that's a kind of really necessary, one of the important things in my life, I guess, to be like this. I can't be a liar.
You can't play a role, right? Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Maybe that's also one of the reasons why it took some time for new Massaker tracks. Caspar, you have been working with some really not only good and great musicians, but also some really famous ones. And now I think you are at a point where you are becoming the partner that people want to work with, that people adore, that people look up to.
Would be nice.
Would you have thought that would happen 30, 40 years ago when you started making music?
I was very young and played with famous people like Adam Einheit or my father or Hamid Drake, and it's still the same, you know. The Avantgarde, we had a studio session. At this time, I was maybe 25. So I don't know. I do not have thoughts like this. But
that once again shows a very good character.
Could be. You know, if we talk that kind of way, I have to say that I'm still really happy that I survived my 2014. It was a kind of really heavy. It was a kind of axis between life and death. And now I'm here. That's I'm really thankful about this. And the other thing is that do not want to be a copy. You know, and it was a hard. You're asking about why you take it so long time making records or whatever. You know, I found out for myself. If I was young, the heroes like Peter Brötzmann, my own father, and Jimi Hendrix, I was really depressed if I was 18 years old and was saying, how can I, like a little boy, what can I do with these people? You know, it took a long time for myself to find myself and to find my own way, to find and to take care about my talent and all this. It was not easy because in a kind of way, I felt my own emotions like this. I was blockaded. To find my own freedom, that means I have to climb up these two big mountains. First, to find my own mountain. So that's maybe explain a little bit for people who listen to us what's going on. And in this point, that means also that record companies or interviews or time is not the important thing. The important thing is how to come through that.
How to come through interviews, yes.
We can talk about it. I don't care. It's all good.
No, I totally like that. I guess I like that a lot because, as I said, you know, honest people are the most important ones. Caspar, you've just mentioned you have a lot of pre-arranged, new songs basically lying around. Would those also be Massaker songs, or again, would it be Totem?
Now you catch the real point, because you know I do not know how to make the right decisions about all this. What is Massaker? What is not Massaker? What can I do in this times? Should I have only one band, or what? How to make a decision? And it's too funny. I have another band. It's calling. It's maybe not the right thing for right now, but that's the real interesting thing. How to handle that all, because we had the Corona time. At this time, it was 3 years. I played every day, and sometimes I had so many material, and now I was standing there and hey, Caspar, what should you do? But I'm just back a few days from tour, and I had just one off day, and then I started to play on a new song for Massaker. And the idea what we have right now is that we do not can pay in the next record. What we try to do is maybe what would be in our situation, good is kind of making a video by ourselves with maybe only one song, so that we can show, look, this is maybe where we can go in future. Maybe do the next song like this, and if we have more concerts maybe and making a bit money what we can take by side to make a next record, then we can do this.
Have you ever thought about something like a Kickstarter campaign?
Excuse me, the interesting point is that was coming home with all these good feelings, especially the last shows in Merth Festival in Berlin. It was really great, and the audience and the people really great. And I was coming home, I was so happy. And then I had an off day, and then I started the next morning playing guitar and was thinking, you know what? This would be the best song what we can work on right now and make it public. And this song called We Don't Know. It's a good refrain and a good melody, and it fits so good in the flow we are right now in. So I would like to rehearse it.
That's wonderful to hear, yeah. Because it once again, it shows the love for music.
Yes, it makes the sense with me and the bird. And people.
Yeah. It's very, very cool to hear. It's very cool to hear. Especially it's very cool to hear because, you've been doing this for such a long time, and to still love doing it so much. That is really, really amazingly cool. Yeah. I have one last question. Yeah, you go on, please.
This is in a shy way to say one of the biggest lucks in my life.
One of the biggest fortunes, yes, of course. One last question before we come to the quickfire round at the end, which will be short and easy. But on a lot of tracks that you've been working on, or also on the record that you did with your father, there is always a reference to home.
What?
To home, Heimat, like where you are.
Yeah, okay.
Is music your home?
You said, is music my home?
Yes.
Yes. Self-made music for us. In the most, there I learned something. In the beginning, I'm doing interviews for 40 years. And this can be sometimes tricky. And also if the interviewers are talking about my past. So now I'm 62. That means I'm making music if I was 14. You can say how long that is. And I learned to be careful that do not compare the old times with the new times. That is an important thing. And this is my second interview. The first interview was with the Rolling Stones, and he was asking about the past, and I was asking my answers, was saying, yeah, this and this, but I learned how far away is that. Today, I have a completely another situation. And I'm pretty happy to learn that so quick, because it makes much more fun to talk interviews about what's going on now.
Yeah.
And to say, okay, you can't anyway, I think to compare things all the time and saying, people like doing this and this, for me, it's deadly to compare, whatever.
But yeah, it totally is, because I think, first of all, the past is the past, and of course it influences our present. Yes, it does. But
if you are talking about the break or a time period like 40 years or 50,
Yeah. But the thing is that there we can come back to some of the things that you've said. The past will not bring bread and butter to the table. So the present is the thing that you have to live in right now, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why we have all this violence.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The song, please, people outside, don't think about we were talking about the track.
We're just talking about music, yeah.
One thing that I have to ask about the record still, before we get those two live versions, we have an opening track. That is, to me, a very, very melancholic one.
Yeah.
Is that it's like a prelude, isn't it?
No, if the computers came in 2000 to me, there was a kind of little sampler. It's called Tuareg, and it's an electronic program, and you can do this for techno. And I was playing with that sometimes to test them, and but just for fun. And I have a lot of sounds like this, but this one I saw it was a good intro, maybe.
It definitely is. Very, very nicely done.
I might sometimes have the feeling it pushes a bit in the kind of soundtrack.
Yeah, that's true.
That you can go, it's a little bridge to listen to this song at first, and then maybe it could open a movie for you. It's the intro for the kind of what's going on, that you go maybe in the cinema and then you listen to all this violence that you have, maybe this. But I saw it just more simple. I thought it was good. We have they're asking, do you want to have an intro before you're starting the show? And I said, yes, let's think about it. And I took this.
Yeah, and it totally works.
Yes, I think the same. Fits good together.
Yeah. So, Caspar, first of all, thanks for the insight into the present, but nobody leaves the Veil of Sound interview without the quickfire round at the end. You will always get two alternatives, like Döner versus Currywurst, or Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, and you have to choose one of them. Or something like AC/DC with Bon Scott versus AC/DC with Brian Johnson, something like that.
And how many times?
Just 5. Don't worry.
Okay, start.
If you could do a soundtrack, as you've just said, Matt, if you could do a soundtrack for a movie, would you rather have the movie done by Martin Scorsese or Woody Allen?
Martin Scorsese.
If you could listen to one of the versions of Nick Cave right now, would you rather listen to The Bad Seeds or The Birthday Party?
The Bad Seeds.
We play the same game with Stephen O'Malley. If you could choose one O'Malley project, and I'll give you 2 of them, would you rather listen to Carnate or Sun?
Sun.
2 more. You have 2 very good musicians now, again, in Massaker. And I'll give you 2 bands that are related to your 2 musicians. I'll give you Fehlfarben versus Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft.
Deutsch-Amerikanische Freundschaft.
And the last...
That's funny, yeah.
And the last one. You now live in Berlin, but your roots are in Remscheid, Wuppertal, somewhere around there.
Which? My father, excuse me, my father came from Remscheid, but
exactly.
I'm born in Wuppertal.
Yeah, so that is leads to my question. If you could choose to play your next gig in Wuppertal or Berlin, where would it be?
Berlin. No question.
If you were in Berlin, would you like to play a specific venue nowadays? Is there a venue where you select, that would be cool?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of venues here. Can play in the state. The Berghain venue is fantastic, and also Festsaal Kreuzberg is good, and I forgot the name. The Helmet Plate was also a good venue. We have a lot of few good venues here, the Kraftwerk and whatever. So I don't know.
Caspar, thanks for your time. Thanks for the new record. That is, to me, the most important thing. Thanks for the record. And
yeah, I really like what you're saying, and that maybe this easy words makes me happy. I don't need much, but if you like the record, that saves my day.
So this is vice versa. Caspar, thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you.